Welcome to our U.S. briefing show. Today, we kick things off with a dramatic escape from Caracas. Opposition members hiding in the Argentine embassy managed to flee with U.S. help, marking a big blow to Maduro's regime and highlighting Venezuela's ongoing political crisis. Next up, a split within the Democratic Party. Some moderate blue dog Democrats voted with Republicans to weaken sick leave protections for small farm workers. This controversial move has sparked debates about worker rights versus support for small farms, revealing internal party divisions. Finally, we turn to college campuses. Jewish students protesting at Columbia are speaking out, sharing how their activism for Palestinian rights is rooted in faith and morality, fighting back against claims of anti-Semitism and emphasizing their peaceful, moral stand for justice. Please continue to watch for more details. The South China Morning Post reports on the daring rescue of 5 Venezuelan opposition aides, close confidants of Maria Corina Machado, who had been sheltering inside the Argentine embassy in Caracas. With covert U.S. assistance, this operation culminated in their safe passage to America, marking a significant blow to Maduro's regime. The escape, described as epic by Machado, underscores the peril faced by Venezuelan dissidents, many of whom remain imprisoned or subjected to UN-documented crimes against humanity. Maduro's government, having expelled Argentine diplomats and fortified the embassy with checkpoints, had attempted to pressure the aides into surrender, but the US-led effort successfully navigated these obstacles, ending a nearly year-long diplomatic siege. The event highlights the ongoing struggle within Venezuela, where opposition figures like Machado and Lopez continue to resist Maduro's grip amid threats and repression, with some escaping just as Maduro jetted off to Moscow for World War II anniversary celebrations, leaving the regime increasingly isolated. Yahoo US details a political shift among Minnesota's blue dog Democrats, who unexpectedly voted alongside Republicans to weaken the paid sick leave law enacted in 2023. This law, which guaranteed paid sick days for most workers, now faces exemptions for small farms and microbusinesses, effects that could leave tens of thousands of workers vulnerable. The bill, championed by moderate Democrats like Judy Seeberger, aims to balance labor protections with concerns about abuse, but critics argue it undermines fundamental worker rights, especially for farm workers, who are already among society's most exploited. The debate reveals a nuanced inter-party divide. Some Democrats prioritize small business survival and family farms, asserting that exemptions are necessary to prevent economic collapse, while others emphasize the importance of universal protections. This legislative move signifies a departure from the party's previous unified stance on labor rights, illustrating the complex political landscape as elected officials grapple with balancing economic interests and worker protections. Al Jazeera highlights the voices of Jewish students protesting at Columbia University, emphasizing that their activism is rooted in faith and a desire for justice amid the Israel-Gaza conflict. These students, many of whom have faced discrimination and even arrests during demonstrations, articulate a narrative of solidarity and moral responsibility, challenging the portrayal of their activism as anti-Semitic. They recount personal stories of awakening to Palestinian suffering and the importance of free speech, religious expression, and anti-oppression work, asserting that their protests are driven by love and faith rather than hatred. The students criticize the weaponization of anti-Semitism to silence dissent, warning that such tactics threaten both their community and broader academic freedoms. Their testimonies reflect a broader struggle to reconcile Jewish identity with activism for Palestinian rights, confronting political pressures and misinformation while advocating for justice and human rights in a climate of heightened tension and repression. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation paints a vivid picture of the upcoming papal succession, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of the conclave that has historically defied expectations. The current field of cardinals is diverse, with each candidate bringing unique credentials, backgrounds, and appeal. Pietro Parolin, Italy's seasoned diplomat and deputy pope, stands out for his global diplomatic experience and moderate stance, yet his vague societal views and reputation as a compromise candidate could hinder his chances. Meanwhile, Cardinal Luis Antonio Gokum Tagle from the Philippines, affectionately called the Asian Francis, captures public imagination with his charismatic personality, social activism, and potential to make history as the first Asian pope. Other contenders include Archbishop Jean-Marc Avellini of France, known for his friendly demeanor and Francis-like ideology, and Hungarian Cardinal Peter Erdo, who embodies traditionalist views and cautious diplomacy, possibly appealing to conservative factions. The list also features progressive Italians like Matteo Zuppi, African leaders such as Peter Turkson from Ghana, and young, influential figures like Ukrainian-born Cardinal Mykola Bychok, highlighting the global and multifaceted nature of this historic conclave. CNN details the tense and uncertain state of the US-China trade war, which has become a defining challenge for the global economy. After months of escalating tariffs, America's tariffs soaring above 145% on Chinese imports and China retaliating with similar measures, the world is witnessing the tangible fallout. Trade volumes plummet, supply chains are disrupted, and economic growth slows dramatically. The first in-person talks in months between top officials signal a tentative step toward de-escalation, though expectations for a swift deal remain low. The tariffs have already inflicted severe damage, with US GDP contracting and Chinese factory activity shrinking at its fastest rate in over a year. Cargo ships are fewer, ports are experiencing significant reductions in arrivals, and businesses face stark choices: absorb higher costs or halt sales. Despite the political and economic tensions, both nations acknowledge the unsustainability of their current standoff, with some officials hinting at the possibility of tariffs being reduced, offering a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. Yet, experts warn that without meaningful concessions, the global economy will continue to suffer, risking recession and prolonged instability. Yahoo US reports on the contentious and complex challenges facing the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs under new Secretary Doug Collins. He faces fierce scrutiny over plans to lay off up to 80,000 employees and accelerate the troubled rollout of a $10 billion electronic health records system from Cerner Oracle, which has already caused patient safety issues at Spokane's VA hospital. Critics, including veteran advocates and former VA officials, warn that mass layoffs amid system implementation could jeopardize patient care. Collins insists that workforce reductions and system upgrades are separate issues, but concerns persist about the impact on veterans' safety and staff morale. The hearing reveals internal tensions, with senators questioning the transparency of the VA's plans and the effectiveness of the new system, which has faced resistance from staff and technical setbacks. As the VA struggles with staffing and technological overhaul, the debate underscores the delicate balance between reform and stability in an institution responsible for millions of veterans' health and well-being. South China Morning Post highlights Hong Kong's aging population and the urgent need for a more transparent and accountable public healthcare system. Despite over 3 decades of providing affordable health services through the hospital authority, rising costs and a growing budget deficit threaten this achievement. The article underscores the necessity of reforming healthcare financing, including implementing a capitation payment system akin to the U.S. Affordable Care Act, which incentivizes efficiency and better health outcomes. Recent fee adjustments, such as increased patient charges and free emergency care for critical cases, aim to optimize resource allocation and reduce misuse of emergency services. The piece emphasizes strengthening community healthcare infrastructure, integrating district health centers modeled after successful international systems, and prioritizing health outcomes over mere service volume. As Hong Kong's population ages, the article calls for strategic resource allocation, enhanced governance, and expert-driven policies to ensure sustainability and improved community health, stressing that accountability and decisive action are long overdue. Yahoo US reports on the latest political and military developments involving Donald Trump and international relations. During a meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, Trump's remarks humorously reinforced Canada's sovereignty, with Carney asserting that Canada is not for sale, a statement Trump nodded to, though he left a slight opening for future negotiations. The article also covers a significant Supreme Court ruling allowing the Trump administration to enforce its ban on transgender individuals serving in the military, a move that could lead to the discharge of thousands. Additionally, the Pentagon's unauthorized aid flights to Ukraine, which were quickly reinstated, reveal internal disagreements about foreign policy decisions. Trump's diplomatic efforts include announcing a ceasefire with Yemen's Houthis, halting attacks after the group agreed to stop targeting shipping lanes, and softening his stance on tariffs affecting the film industry. Meanwhile, domestic policy shifts include EPA staff cuts that threaten public health, and federal grant revocations impacting university research. The report paints a picture of a tumultuous political landscape, with high-stakes decisions shaping both domestic and international affairs. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.